Well, folks, over the weekend, there wasn't just one, but two fun blow-ups involving USPSA board members. So, just to signal boost this stuff, I'll explain a couple of things that happened. So, the first incident at Area 3, one of the board members, that'd be Area 4 Director Mel Roduro. You might remember him as he's the guy who was not a range officer, and it's, the bylaws say he's supposed to be off the board, but he stays on the board anyway. No idea how that happens. The board just don't follow the bylaws if they don't feel like following the bylaws. Anyway, this guy's shooting an area match, Area 3, I think, and he, against the rules, he changes guns in the middle of the match without telling anybody, and you're not allowed to do that. As anybody who shoots matches at that level knows, you kind of start with one set of gear, and you're supposed to use that set of gear through the match. And if you change, you just need the range master's approval. They usually want to look at the gun again and make sure it fits the division requirements and all of that stuff. With as long as Mel's been shooting and how many high-level matches he shoots, there is no way that he doesn't know that this is the procedure, that this is the rule. However, he got caught changing guns without telling anybody, claimed ignorance, and ended up getting disqualified from the match. So, that apparently it was a big blow-up. Like a lot of yelling back and forth. He didn't take it that well. But at the same time, he was lying. He was saying he didn't know that was a rule. Like that's impossible. Nobody should, that's just not credible. There's no way that he didn't know. So that got out onto the internet and pretty interesting. But even more interesting, there started some discussion of conflicts of interest among the USPSA board members. And per the bylaws, that's supposed to be publicly available, like what their conflicts of interest are. So, two of the area directors, no surprise who, Area 3 and Area 7, the two normal guys on there that aren't crazy. Those two guys posted their conflict of interest forms for everybody to see. And then this started as basically Leighton Uthausen, the Area 2 director, started arguing with the internet. Just saying, he's not going to disclose his conflicts of interest, even though the bylaws require that. It's not listed anywhere on the website. You can't find that stuff, all of this. So people are pointing this out, and Leighton just argues with the internet. It got to the point where people were accusing him of fraud. So yes, I think you're committing fraud. No, I don't have any proof, but that's because you guys keep all the documents. It was like the discussion got crazy. It got very heated. So what's this all mean? I think not much. It's just, it's interesting to me that 2 or 3 years ago, this sort of stuff would happen and it would kind of get swept under the rug. Like not many people would see it. And what I'm seeing now is there's a lot of people paying attention to the board members. Like the board members are under a little bit of a microscope. And with how things are going for the organization, I think that's good. That has to happen. There needs to be some policy changes. They need to fix some of this stuff. And I think a lot of people are getting the idea here. It's like, oh, the problem isn't really, rules or procedures or even really the decisions that get made in a lot of respects. It's just you look at the personalities running the show and you're like, okay, these guys are actually a problem. Like Mel Roduro, this guy should not be on the board. For a lot of reasons. There's a lot of conflicts of interest. He is a douchebag fundamentally. Just cares about himself, and and then on top of that, it's no surprise that they do a bad job. It's no surprise that things are the way they are with Leighton running. He makes a lot of decisions for the organization, I think, and it's not a surprise that the organization's dysfunctional when you just look at how these people behave. So. I'll keep watching. I think it's interesting to watch USPSA go through this time because this is kind of where they're going to make some changes or not. So we will see. We'll be watching.